G'day Eagles fans, Pickles and Bonds here for Eagles TV on behalf of Eagles Radio. Now on the new set, Bonds.
Yeah, impressive, isn't it?
Isn't it?
Premiership in the background?
Yeah, we built this overnight. And welcome to episode 7 of Eagles TV.
All right, a big episode again. We're going to have a quick look at the highlights from the game against the Dogs. And we've got a very special guest, former club captain, former club champion, and now CEO, Luke Powell will join us. And we'll also have some more fun with the players in time on.
Now this week, Bonds, get to Morn Team Kia Oval, so back-to-back home games for the Eagles fans, taking on Sturt. Reserve start at 11:30 and the league boys kick off at 2:10. Now, when you're at the game, make sure you've got your radio, 88.3 to keep tuning into Eagles Radio. If you can't be at the game, download the Pickles and Bonds app, and that way you can hear us, Pickles and Bonds, on Eagles Radio, calling all the action from the comfy of your lounge shed.
Yeah, and the listens on the app have been fantastic. They've been
Go
increasing every game, so thanks for your support there. Look, let's take a look at those highlights. Thanks to our friends at Morn Team Kia. Cooper Darms tried to take it. Oh, well done by Nick Hayes. Gave it to the first game of Mead. Bang! Shot on goal is a goal! Jackson Mead, the debutant, nails it from about 40 metres. Tight angle, lovely start for him. The Eagles 2 goals, Central's 1-1. We've gone 9 minutes thanks to St Clair Dental.
The free kick's going to go to the big German. He gives it by hand to Gus Paul. He gets it on quickly. And a long kick inside 50 for Hayes. Tries to nudge his player out in front of him. Llewellyn, he did so. Hayes goes back, picks up his own ball. They go back Central for Jack Hayes. One grab, can't take the mark. Coming over to Petrenko, to himself, and finishes. Oh, the little superstar. Slowly but surely they're getting it done here. The Eagles inside their 50, getting a little bit messy. They go back to Boyd, and he dinks one over the top to Hayes. Well, it took a while. Wasn't the prettiest of play. It's ended up with Nick Hayes.
Well, the calm head of James Boyd there. There was all scramble and panic handballs that came out to Boyd. He just lifted his eyes, saw Jack Hayes, and hit him on the chest.
Only a 2-point game. Hayes makes no mistake, gets it out to 8 points. The bounce is a good one. Does his own roving as Redden, gives the handball. It's going to sit up for Petrenko. Steadies himself, goes with a dart. Kick couldn't find Hayes, but he's picked up his own ball and then goes in short. Steady head, steady boot. The mark's been taken by Jackson Mead. Touch on it, landed at both their feet, socket off the ground. Up and under, but the pickup was great from Paul. Luxury of a bounce off the left. Goes in towards Gilhouse. Oh, the big German. It's a tight angle. This will test him. This is going to be... You are only limited to your imagination with what this man might come up with from here. He's seen someone that he likes. And why wouldn't you? It was Petrenko.
Yeah, we all like Petrenko.
Distance won't be an issue. Tight angle though. Off the right. Is it bending back? It is. Bending back perfectly. That's a hell of a goal. Gets the double arm salute from the big German. He was in the middle of the ground. Hayes. Jack Hayes took a big mark, got shoved in the back. Possibly unlucky not to get the 15. Lonergan went long, got hit later. It's going to end up in the arms of the big German who gave the gift to Sharrod. The umpire said, no, I'm not going to allow it. Well, I don't know why not. So the big German, the range here, I don't think he's got this trip in him. He's going to be kicking from outside 50 when he does so. But so far, looking like he's going to give it a chance. Crowd will ride this one home if he can get there. Pops, skips, goes to the left. Looks like it might get there. It does get there. Oh, the big German from 50. Who knew he could go the trip? They get around him. He halves the deficit.
Hayes can't quite pick the ball up. He does now to Sinai. Hands to Petrenko. He's got a player inside 50. It's Nick Moore. Can he get there? He can. So Nick Moore, 45-degree angle.
From the exact same spot.
This to square the ledger at 66 apiece. Comes back with the leg. It's a nice kick off the boot. Great goal, Nick Moore.
Okay, interview time again here on Eagles TV, and this time we don't have a player, we've got a past player, very lucky to have a past player. The great, here he is, Luke Powell. Luke, welcome to Eagles TV.
Thanks for having me.
Now, Luke, we've got you back into in front of the camera to have a chat to you about what times were like, what life was like, back earlier when you were playing, but we'll go all the way back. Where'd you grow up?
Yeah, I grew up in a little town called Port Arlington. It's probably about 25 minutes out of Geelong, just
right.
a little coastal town. So yeah, it's good times.
And football straight away, was it?
It was. We were from a town that didn't have a great football side, so I think I started under 15s when I was 8 and a half.
Yep.
And I reckon got about 100 games in the under 15, so it's a good little achievement. But it was always football, cricket, football in the summer, football in the winter, cricket in the summer. So yeah, it was a good place to be.
Typical Aussie lad.
Definitely. Yeah.
What's an 8-year-old do playing under 15s? What sort of player can you be at that level?
No, you pretty much get told to go and sit in the forward pocket, and if the ball comes near you, you can try and touch it, but otherwise just stay out of the way.
Right.
So pretty much.
Just wear a jumper.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so how quick did you progress that you started to realise that I'm pretty good at this?
I never really thought I was any good at it, but look, I think probably when I got to the age of 14 or 15, football became a fairly bit more important for me.
Yep.
And slowly progressed through the rep sides and all through there, and probably started to enjoy it a lot more too then. So.
Yep. So you end up here at the Eagles and chalk up nearly 250 games and become one of the all-time greats, and we sit in the new surrounding here. Do you have much time ever to have a look around at premierships, players you've played with, that sort of stuff, and you take it in?
Probably not a lot, yeah. It's funny, I probably walk past here every day, but there's always something else going on in my head that I need to be doing, or preoccupied with something else. But look, I think it's the most times I get to reminisce about those times are when you actually catch up with your old teammates, and probably away from football.
Yep.
But that's when you can reminisce a bit. But I've obviously got a job at hand with football here, so that usually takes up most of my time.
We will get to that job that you currently do. So do you reminisce, do you remember your first game?
I do, yeah. My first game, I debuted with a couple of who were still good mates with mine, Lee Treby, Mark Passador and Tim Inkster. We got to travel down to South Adelaide on a cold, wet and windy Sunday.
Yep.
So, it was great times. We were fortunate enough to get the win, and it just gave me a good taste of what it was all about.
And who was your coach back then?
Ronnie Fuller.
Right.
I had Ron for probably about 6 or 7 years, and then obviously Godsey after that.
Yep. So it's been pretty stable for you then at the Eagles as far as coaches and the surroundings then?
It has, and that was the first thing that I learnt when I actually walked into the door, how stable this football club is, and that was pushed into me pretty early, not just from the coaching staff and the administration staff, but also the players. They let me know what a great club it is to be around and how the culture was set before my time, and it's been, from my end, it's been fantastic to still be a part of that.
So then when you took on the leadership roles, you won best and fairest, and then became the captain and the leader, and once you become a captain of a sample side, you're a leader of men at that stage, and also a huge squad. Was that something that came naturally to you, or had that been ingrained in you through the way you'd been brought up through the Eagles?
Look, I think it was something that was always natural to me. I probably captained a lot of sides when I was younger at my hometown, cricket especially, but I was fortunate enough to captain my senior side when I was 17 years old.
Right.
It probably shows how good we were back then, so we went great. But, and it's something I've always enjoyed. Probably when I first stepped foot into this football club, it was encouraged. I had some really great leaders in Gavin Colville, Justin Sikalala and Stephen Hall.
Yes.
And probably along with Paul Lindsay as well, and those guys really made me step it up, and I embraced it and I enjoy it now, and it's a good way to be.
And so tell us about the moments when you've won the premierships, that moment, you know, how long does that go for after the siren goes of the elation?
Yeah, it's both a little bit different, really. Like 2006, it was just an amazing time. Like, it's for a club that probably been battered around in grand finals for you know, the previous years. There was one of elation, but probably also a little bit of relief that we've finally done it. I think, that time lasts for, you know, a fair while. The celebrations go obviously for a week, but I think the most special part of probably both 2006 and 2011 is when you actually get to, the celebrations are on the field are great, but it's actually when you get that probably 10 minutes of actually just in your meeting room with the actual playing group to understand, you know, what we've actually achieved and, you know, probably the enormity of it. That was probably the best times. And a little bit 2011, we thought that we were the best side in it. So it was obviously Centrals had shown that they were probably results-wise were a little bit above us, but we always had the belief that we could do it, and actually to plan it out on the day and to come out the way we want it to was quite rewarding.
Built up a great rivalry with Centrals over that time, and so leading up to all of those Centrals Eagles matches, does it get any different?
No, I don't think so. Look, it's one of those things. From my perspective, a lot of the other players and probably Centrals as well, if we could have played 10 grand finals in a row, it would have been, you know, we would have enjoyed that. We have and still do have such a healthy respect for their football club, and I think likewise for us as well. But look, a tremendous football club. They're obviously, you know, not where they want to be at this stage of the year, even though they gave us a touch up on the year, and we're probably not where we want to be. But look, I think it was a rivalry that was always enjoyable. They were tough, hard games, but they were honest games. You always knew what you were going to get from both sides. So
we'll talk a bit about your role then now, and you said leadership, you know, probably something that fit pretty well with your character. Did you ever see yourself as a CEO of a footy club?
No, not at all. Definitely not. Still scratch my head now, you know, in the role. But look, I think it's, you know, I've been lucky when I took on the role as football manager. It's just become a natural progression through, and with circumstances that seeing other people go on to other jobs, and it's just allowed me to continually rise up. And grateful for the role, and you know, and it's an honour to sort of be able to lead this football club, and hopefully in the right direction. And every day there's something different, but it's, you know, both challenging and rewarding. But hopefully I'm directing it in the right way, and the club's continuing on to move forward. But look, it's from a CEO's point of view, there's a lot of challenges ahead for SANFL football clubs, not just ours. So the next probably 5 to 10 years are really going to be critical pathways of which way we go, but I'm glad I'm involved and looking forward to sort of seeing where it can take us.
But when did you find out this is what's involved in being a CEO? Did you have any idea what a CEO's role is before you took on that role?
I think so. Look, I've been lucky when I've been both a player, football manager, to have good people above me. Like obviously when I was here as a player, to have John Canalaftis and Chris Davies as both CEOs at the time, and then obviously Peter Schwartz when I was here as a footy manager. So to be able to take something away from all of those guys and to learn something from them, and to also, from my point of view, that if I need to make a phone call, you know, they're always there. And I just do have a strong relationship with a couple of guys, business guys outside of football too, which really helps.
So you built a big support crew around you?
Definitely. I think we can't be naive to think that we know it all. So and look, I'm only, for a CEO, quite young, but obviously, I think any knowledge we can get from outside help is, it's why not.
Now I do get fortunate enough, so I get to catch up with you a fair bit on game days here through Eagles TV, Eagles Radio, and I get to see it, and you always seem a lot more relaxed. Now, is that because on that game day you're basically, there's nothing you can do to affect the game, and you almost, I thought on the weekend you're having a kick, I assume that's your lad, on the oval, that you can almost switch off for a while and just watch the footy?
Yeah, it is. It's quite different. It actually took me a little while to get used to this year. Like I remember turning up the first game against North Adelaide, and it's almost, all right, well, what do I do? For so long I'd been involved in, even obviously when I was footy manager, being the runner as well and having some sort of coaching side of things in it. It was, it was quite different this year, but I have to say I do enjoy it. Like you said, I actually just get to come to the football. Obviously we have a few lunches here and there that I need to attend, but by that time by the time the lunches are finished, the leagues are already ready to go. So it's great to be able to take my son, or my two sons, to footy and just to show them what SANFL footy's about, and to go out and have a kick on the oval. It's great, and I think that's probably something unique about SANFL footy that's still there, and I think we have to keep promoting that. But it's a lot more relaxing.
It is. So, what's the biggest hurdles then you think that you're going to run into? Maybe you already mentioned it for the SANFL as a whole, but maybe hear more for the Eagles moving forwards.
Look, I think we're probably going to be the same as all clubs. Look, the biggest challenges going forward are going to be your revenue streams. Look, a lot of the clubs rely heavily on the pokie machines. From our club's point of view, we were doing quite well there, but we've always got to look for different avenues of income, and that's going to be the challenge going ahead. Where can we get those from? And we're a small club, so we've got to battle as hard as we can. Sponsorship's always a big issue, but if we can keep promoting that we have a great club and a great product, it's a matter of now just selling ourselves to the right people. And
then conversely to that, what's the most exciting thing you can see coming in the maybe long-term or even short-term future for the Eagles, maybe Eagles fans even?
I think there's excitement on two fronts. For me, the excitement probably on the football side of things is like it probably always has been. We've promoted a lot of juniors this year, and to see those young kids come through and not just be able to play league football, but to be actually able to perform and hold their own. So I think the future's really bright in the football sense of things. We pull a lot of kids from such a great zone, from obviously a lot of the York Peninsula, the Clare Way, and in and around the western suburbs. So we're lucky in that way. That's always exciting to me. I love seeing young kids being able to get that opportunity to play football, and then hopefully obviously go higher than us and get in the AFL system. But from the club's point of view, away from football, look, I think we've got a fair few things in the pipeline that we can't sort of let go just yet. But
we're not going to get an Eagles TV exclusive.
Not just yet, but look,
we'll be the first to know.
You
of course.
definitely will be. Yes, but look, a few exciting things that we're trying to put in place. It's going to take a lot of planning and a lot of hard work, but if it does come off, it'll go a long way to help and set this club up for a long time.
Well, we hope that it all goes well for you. You've done you had a great start. Wish you all the best for the future and everything that comes forward. Even further on after football's finished. So, and thanks for your time today on Eagles TV.
No, thanks for having me. Cheers.
Cheers, Luke.
Thanks.
All right, it's time on, and we're here with Schmusch and Hawley. All right, and they're going to play Rise Up in the Cup game. You saw it last episode. Here it is again. First one to get the top cup, the bottom cup to the top and back again, wins. That's simple. On the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. It was both a bit of cheating, but we're going to give it to Hawley just. All right, now it's time for the pyramid game. Good luck, boys. 2 pyramids. Once, twice. First one to the top wins. Simple. Thank you. 3, 2, 1.
He's rattled me.
That's not. I've won it twice already. All right, by default, Paulie's the winner, clearly. All right, well done, boys.
Well, it's another episode just about done. Another time on done. Schmusch got smashed. So
He did.
Hawley in the grand final up against Big Jared Redden. You'll see that next week on our next edition of Eagles TV.
Absolutely. Now, don't forget to come to the ground this Sunday. The boys need you. Big game against the Double Blues. Reserves at 11:30, league at 2:10. So make sure you're here cheering on the Eagles.
It's tough to get out, isn't it? 11:30 the Rezzies. For some
11:30
reason,
the
it's hard to get out. Now, when you do come to the ground at 11:30, 88.3. Bring your FM radio. As we said, top of the show. Pickles and Bonds are going to call that for you. That's us on Eagles Radio. Tune in. If you can't get to the ground, download the Pickles and Bonds app. You can hear the Eagles radio call from the comfy of your lounge chair.
Absolutely.
Now, at the end of the game, hopefully after the boys get a win, head upstairs, have a drink, have a meal with the players, and catch up with all of the social media action, all the events that are going on through all of their social outlets, Facebook, Twitter, the whole lot. Jump on board.
And appreciate everyone getting on the back of Eagles TV this year and Eagles Radio. Just gets bigger and better all the time. Another episode done and dusted, Pickles. We'll see you next time.
Good night.